Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Perth East Council, this 18th day of February. I'd like to call our meeting to order. If everyone could please bow their head for a moment of reflection. Thank you. If you have pecuniary interests, confirmation of the agenda. We have a motion that the agenda as prepared for the February 18, 2026 meeting of Council of the Township of Perth East be approved as received. Moved by Amanda, second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. Pecuniary interest. If you have pecuniary interest, you can disclose that now or as our meeting goes along. And consent agenda, we have 9 items under our consent agenda. Is there any item anyone would like pulled or they have questions on? Jerry?
5.1.5.
Okay, you'd like that pulled? Correct, pulled, yep, okay. Anyone else? Nope, okay. We'll deal with it separately, so then we have a motion that items 5.1.1 to 5.1.9 as set out on the consent agenda for the February 18, 2026 regular meeting of council be received for information, with the exception of 5.1.5, which shall be introduced separately, and the minutes of February 3rd, 2026 regular council meeting be adopted. Moved by Jeremy, second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. And Jerry, 5.1.5.
Thanks through the mayor. This one here came from municipality of North Perth, supporting the resolution that was forwarded from the municipality of North Grenville, Merrickville, Wolford Village OPP Detachment Board regarding this enhanced school bus safety system. So we've discussed this at a few meetings. School buses that get passed, their lights are flashing, so looking for the province to invest in some school bus stop arm camera systems. I'd like that if we could support this and have the letter addressed to the Premier, to the Minister of Transportation, and sent to our MP and Nader and MPP Ray and AMO and all other municipalities similar to what's presented in that item.
Okay, thank you. Jerry's moving. Do we have a seconder? Jeremy? Any questions? Just give Ashley a second here. She's writing madly. Amanda?
More of a comment, because schools are like provincial, I don't know if we need to send a letter to John Nader. Should only just be MPP Ray, but that's just a suggestion.
Okay, so we have a motion that we move to support North Perth resolution regarding enhanced school bus safety, and then the list to send it to the Premier, the Minister of Transportation, MP, MPP, AMO, and other municipalities. And that's moved by Jerry and second by Jeremy. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, we're down to presentations. We have no public presentations. Under our other presentations, with us tonight on Zoom, we have Meredith Rosette, our Director of Economic Development and Tourism, and Amy Arbunkel, Economic Development Officer, and they're going to give us a 2026 Perth County Economic Development and Tourism update. So welcome, ladies. Great to see you. Welcome to Perth East, and the floor is yours.
Thank you for having us. I do have to apologize to Mayor Agate and Councillor McDermott and Councillor Smith. They have already seen this presentation. I promise I will be short and quick. So again, as Mayor Agate said, tonight's presentation, Amy's going to bring it up for us. You see the slide deck there?
Can everyone see that okay?
Yes, we can.
Great.
Perfect, wonderful. So our focus is quite simple. Strengthen local businesses, support workforce development, enhance investment readiness, and grow our visibility as a place to live, work, and invest. So as Mayor Agate mentioned, with me today, I have our new Economic Development Officer, Amy Arbuckle. Not with us today is Justin Diaz, our Senior Economic Development Officer. He is in West Perth tonight presenting, and Shannon Landreth. Shannon is backfilling the Tourism Officer's role for Claire Lenny, who will be returning from maternity leave in April. Everything we do aligns with our 4 priorities: business retention, expansion, and attraction, people and workforce development, destination development and marketing, and affordable and alternate housing. This structure keeps our efforts coordinated, measurable, and aligned with the county's economic goals. Our business retention, expansion, and attraction program starts with the businesses that we already have here. We've created a new brand for our business retention and expansion platform, calling it Prosper in Perth. And it's more than just business visits. It's an integrated engagement strategy that includes ongoing business outreach, business tours, training workshops, networking events, storytelling through our Planted in Perth County business features. We're building relationships intentionally and not waiting for problems to arise. Preliminary results from our annual business retention and expansion survey. Businesses most frequently requested training and resources on grant and load programs, marketing, including digital and social media, artificial intelligence, succession planning, workforce development, and business planning. So we will be rolling out programming throughout the course of the year that focuses on those items. At the same time, we maintain our updated employment land inventory and work closely with Invest Ontario to ensure Perth County is positioned for opportunities for investment. People and workforce development. Workforce remains an economic issue. Many businesses face workforce recruitment and retention challenges, especially skills gap, lack of qualified applicants, competition for labor, and issues related to housing and transportation. We continue to promote our workforce attraction and retention employer toolkit and supporting employers through job fairs and workforce initiatives. We'll be updating our career pathway cards that highlight local opportunities in manufacturing, agriculture, and tourism. These tools are then distributed to schools and community groups to show youth that there are meaningful careers right here in Perth County. We're also expanding our Welcoming Communities training this year, both in person and online, to help employers strengthen inclusion practices. Through our People of Perth County youth profiles, we're highlighting real local success stories and hopes to build community pride and inspire long-term workforce stability. And finally, we recognize that housing is an economic development issue and will continue to promote creative workforce housing solutions, because without housing options, recruitment efforts fall short. Tourism in Perth County is both an economic driver and an identity builder. In 2026, we'll continue with our multimedia campaigns targeting broader audiences, including the GTA. We are increasing our tourism brochure distribution. We're expanding our Discover More Flavor Farm Gate map to be a Discover More Flavor map, including our bakery trail and signature experiences. We'll continue to refine our signature experiences to help curate high quality tourism offerings supported by professional media, training, and advertising. A new project that we are very excited about in 2026 is our Frame and Find wayfinding signage project. It's 2 phases. The first phase is called Frame, and it is entirely focused on planning and consistency. In the very near future, we'll be going to RFP to hire a consultant to develop a countywide signage plan. This part of the process will include design guidelines, colors, fonts, materials, accessibility standards, along with a location plan that identifies where signage makes sense and where it doesn't. This ensures future signage is coordinated, professional, and does not conflict with municipal signage programs. All right, the second phase is Find. This involves a prioritized rollout of the wayfinding signage at high impact locations to guide visitors through rural downtowns, business attractions, and existing installations. The Frame and Find project does not replace or override municipal signage. It does not duplicate existing signage programs. It does not take the decision-making away from our local municipalities and BIAs. This project is to strengthen the countywide brand and consistency while respecting our municipal autonomy. Navigating shapes visitors' experiences, and experience drives return visits. And that is our goal. None of this happens in isolation. Our team remains active in Chamber of Commerce, BIAs, provincial associations, industry groups, regional tourism partnerships. These relationships extend Perth County's reach and ensure that we are aligned with broader economic strategies. We will also continue regular newsletters and direct business communication to maintain transparency and accountability. In 2026, our work is proactive and strategic. Our goal is to strengthen local businesses, supporting workforce resilience, competing for global investment, expanding tourism visibility, and improving wayfinding and community identity. Economic development isn't a single initiative, it's a system. Our focus this year is to strengthen that system so Perth County remains competitive, resilient, and positioned for long-term growth. And that is my presentation today, and I'm happy to take any questions should you have any.
Okay, thank you. Questions of the presentation? Nope, you're getting off easy. No questions. So thanks a lot. We really appreciate everything that your department does for our community and for Perth East and the county. And I hope you have a great night. So thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you for having us tonight. Take care.
Okay, we do have a motion, and the motion is that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive the presentation prepared by Meredith Borzett, Director of Economic Development and Tourism, and Amy Arbuckle, Economic Development Officer, dated February 18, 2026, entitled 2026 Perth County Economic Development and Tourism Update for Information. Moved by Hugh, second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Now we're going to move on to our delegations. We have no delegations. Under public meetings and public hearings, we have no public meetings. We do have one public hearing. Council will now temporarily adjourn to sit as Committee of Adjustment pursuant to Section 45 of the Planning Act. I now declare this public hearing open. This public hearing is being held to consider an application affecting property currently owned by Mervyn Kipfer, described as Concession 6, East Part, Lot 3, Mornington Ward, 6910 Road 136. The purpose of this hearing is to give the committee and the public an opportunity to hear all interested persons with respect to the proposed application and receive their input, and for the committee to make a decision on the application. All persons attending this hearing will be given an opportunity to be heard or make a presentation. Committee members may ask questions for the purposes of clarifying the application, but are asked to withhold comments on this application until all present have been given an opportunity to be heard. Any person who wishes to receive written notice of the decision made by the Committee of Adjustment is asked to email their name and mailing address to the Secretary Treasurer at this time. An appeal to the Ontario Land Tribunal objecting to the decision made at this hearing may be e-filed via the OLT e-file service by the applicant. The municipality and the minister or prescribed utility providers with the Secretary Treasurer no later than the date stated on the notice. No written notice except as previously noted will be given unless requested at this time. I now will call on our planner, Aubrey Erickson, to present the planning report and recommendations. So welcome, Aubrey and Jeff, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor Agats. Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. The minor variance application MV 18-2025 was submitted by Agent Mike Hall on behalf of Marvin Kipfer for the property at 6910 Road 136. The subject lands are approximately 2,023 meters squared with a frontage of 80.5 meters on Road 136 with a lot depth of approximately 25.1 meters. The applicant requires relief from the Perth East zoning bylaw to replace the existing single detached dwelling with a larger single detached dwelling and to construct an accessory shed. The subject lands are designated as agriculture under the official plan. The agriculture designation intends to protect lands for long-term agricultural uses and promote the continued viability, importance, and diversification of agricultural activities. Section 3.5.5 of the official plan recognizes existing lots of record in the agriculture designation. Where agricultural uses or other permitted uses are not possible, and the existing vacant lot is 4 hectares or less, it may be used for a single detached dwelling. The development is located on an existing lot of record, which is currently used for residential purposes, and the proposed minor variance requested will allow for the continued non-farm residential use of the property and the construction of a new accessory building. The subject lands are zoned agriculture in the Township of Perth East zoning bylaw, which permits existing non-farm residential uses and buildings and structures accessory to the permitted uses. The intent of the agricultural zoning provisions is to limit non-agricultural development to ensure farmland protection. The existing undersized lot is not suitable for agricultural production, and the shallow lot depth restricts the ability of the landowner to meet zoning bylaw setback requirements under section 6.3.3.2 and the accessory structure location under section 5.1.3. The proposed location of the expanded residential dwelling and new accessory shed does not impact the existing well and septic system and allows for proper drainage of the subject lands. Further development of the subject lands will not impact surrounding farming operations. The requested relief from zoning bylaw provisions are minor in nature and are considered to be appropriate for the development of the land. The application for minor variance conforms with the official plan policies and maintains the general intent and purpose of both the official plan and the zoning bylaw. The variance requested is minor in nature and desirable use of the land. As a result, approval of the variance is recommended. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone present who wishes to make a presentation or speak in opposition of the application? Seeing no one, is there anyone present who wishes to make a presentation or speak in support of the application other than the applicant or the applicant's agent? Seeing no one, does the applicant or the applicant's agent wish to make a presentation or speak in respect to the application? Seeing no one, are there any questions from the committee members? Nope. Okay. The committee will now consider a motion regarding the application. And so the motion is that the Township of Perth East Committee of Adjustment approve application file MV 18-2025 submitted by Michael Hall for lands described as East Part Lot 3, Concession 6, Mornington Ward, Township of Perth East, municipally known as 6910 Road 136, as it relates to number 1, relief from section 6.3.3.2 to reduce the rear yard depth from 7.5 meters to 4.5 meters, and number 2, relief from section 6.3.3.2 to reduce the front yard depth from 18 meters to 9.9 meters to facilitate the construction of a 195 meter squared single detached dwelling, and number 3, relief from section 5.1.3 to permit an accessory structure to be located in a front yard, and number 4, relief from section 6.3.3.2 to reduce the accessory structure front yard depth from 15 meters to 6.7 meters to facilitate the construction of a 187 meter squared accessory structure subject to the following conditions. And number 1 is that the owners remove the existing single detached dwelling to the satisfaction of the Perth East Building Department, and number 2, that the owners obtain the necessary building permit within 2 years of the approval of the minor variance. So we need a mover and a seconder for all that. Do we have a move by Hugh, second by Jerry? Any questions? All in favor? Carried. I declare this public hearing closed. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Okay, we're going to reports. We have no planning report. We have no reports from the CAO. Under the clerk, we have a tender opening for the Rosaire Municipal Drain. So I'll turn it over to Ashley.
Okay, thanks, Mayor Agates. So outlined in the report, we did release tenders for the Rosaire Municipal Drain 2025, and 7 tenders were received. The lowest one was reviewed for accuracy, and the estimated amount did come in under what the engineer had estimated for the total construction costs. Prior to the meeting tonight, the Court of Revision did meet and they did uphold the assessment schedule. So we're recommending to move forward with Forest Excavating for that tender. And I can answer any questions or try to if there's any.
Okay, questions of the report? Seeing no questions, we have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report prepared by the Manager of Legislative Services dated February 18, 2026, entitled Tender Opening Rosaire Municipal Drain CLE-202605 for information, and further that Council award the tender for construction of the Rosaire Municipal Drain 2025 to Horst Excavating Inc. with their submission of $139,407 excluding taxes only upon satisfactory resolution to all appeals before the Court of Revision. We need a mover and a seconder, moved by Andrew, second by Hugh. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, now finance, we have no reports. Under Public Works, we have three. The first one being the 2025 Annual Drinking Water System Report. Jake, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Farragut. The first report tonight, as you've alluded to, covers the annual drinking water reports for both Milverton and Shakespeare water systems. And it is a requirement to present this to council prior to March 31st each year. Specifically with Milverton, staff received a ministry inspection rating of 97.81%. We did have a non-compliance noted, and that was basically the ministry mandating that we decommission well 4, which we are already in the midst of. Hopper, as council will recall, was awarded that project or for the decommissioning component, and they are actually to return to site next week to hopefully wrap that up. As it relates to the system and drinking water results, there was a sodium exceedance, which is quite consistent with historical results in other neighboring municipalities, being naturally occurring in the groundwater. And there was also a minor disinfection issue, which was dealt with and reported accordingly to the ministry. In Shakespeare, staff received an inspection rating of 100%. We did have one exceedance, a single total coliform, and an arsenic concentration exceedance. Both were dealt with through the ministry and health units accordingly. These reports will be posted on the website, but if there are any questions, I'm certainly available to answer those now. Or council can certainly reach out to me if there's any specific questions about the reports themselves. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Jake. Questions of the report? Hugh?
Yeah, on in both water reports on February the 11th, I assume that was just the day you did the testing in both Shakespeare and Milverton here. The sodium level was outside. Is there any kind of particular reason why both of them would be outside of sodium on the same day?
Yeah, through the mayor, the sodium is required to be tested every, I believe it's every 5 years. We do all of our systems, our quarterly samples, we call them on the same day. So that's why those samples would have been taken on February 11th. But in terms of why that is, that's quite consistent. Basically, all through the historical reports, we've exceeded on sodium, and it's really common around here with really all southwestern Ontario with sodium. So it's not a surprise to us. We did issue some notices to residents around that exceedance through the health unit. But again, Stratford, basically everybody around us has the same issue. So that hopefully answers your question.
Okay, other questions? Nope, seeing no questions, and we do have a motion that says that the Council of the Township of Perth East received a report prepared by the Manager of Public Works dated February 18, 2026, entitled 2025 Annual Drinking Water Report, PUB-2026-04 for information. Moved by Jerry, second by Jeremy. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, and the next report is the 2025 Annual Wastewater System Report. Jake?
Hey, thanks again, Mary. This one covers basically our performance for both systems in Shakespeare and Milverton again. In 2025, there were some challenges that staff experienced, a couple of unique issues. In Shakespeare specifically, we dealt with almost a washout, I would coin it, due to significant precipitation events. where we kind of lost balance within the plant. Took some time and staff effort to stabilize things there, but we did get it corrected and back to normal. On top of that, we dealt with a midge fly infestation, which is something we've not dealt with before, but we were able to overcome that and get things back to normal with it. Staff are currently in the midst of finalizing a request for quotation for flow monitoring on the Shakespeare sanitary collection system, given obviously the INI and the impact it's had on our systems. So hopefully that will be initiated within the next month or two. In Milverton, we had the parallel force main installed, which did improve the pumping capacity significantly in terms of peak flows, which was excellent. However, as part of the project, we did have to disturb our primary aeration cell to put the outlet in. Staff believe that did cause some issues for some of our effluent this year, but we anticipate things being back to normal this year. Again, this will be posted on the website and available to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of the report? You?
Just one question. Is there a particular reason in your report you said that most of the companies, they don't want to do any kind of testing or anything except in spring? Like, is that the water flow, is that have something to do with why they want to do it in spring?
Through the mayor, yeah, the feedback we received, we actually did post this back in the year prior, in 2025, towards the end of the year. We got a single submission, and basically the feedback we got was we want to see the snow melt on top of precipitation events, just to capture the most significant data you can get. So that was the general feedback we got, and that's the direction we're going to follow.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? If not, we have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report prepared by the Manager of Public Works dated February 18, 2026, entitled 2025 Annual Wastewater System Reports, PUB-2026-05, for information. Moved by Jeremy, second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Okay, and the third report is tender results for asphalt paving. Jake?
Okay, the last one tonight covers a number of overlay projects across the township. We actually had quite good interest in the tender with 7 submissions this year. Steed & Evans was the low bid. They actually did work for us last year on a similar project, and staff were quite happy with the job they did. So we would recommend awarding Steed & Evans the job again this year. The project is within budget collectively. So again, we would suggest council award this to Steed & Evans. If there are any questions, I'll try and answer those.
Okay, any questions of the reports? That's great that we had so many people interested and the bid came in where it did. So maybe every year we'll have to tender sooner. But anyway, we do have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report prepared by the Manager of Public Works dated February 18, 2026, entitled Tender Results Asphalt Paving PUB-2026-06 for information, and further that confirmed by this resolution, tender PW-2026-01 asphalt paving be awarded to Steed & Evans Limited with a contract value of $1,235,000 exclusive of HST. I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Andrew, seconded by Amanda. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, thanks, Jake. We have nothing from building. Parks and Recreation, we have the ticket ice review. Becky?
Thanks, Mayor Ronda. In follow up to the last meeting, council had asked to bring back a report regarding the insurance and usage of the ticket ice program. Since in 2023, we had 232 hours of ice used rented by Ticket Ice. And last year, 2025, we had 44.5 hours rented. So there's been a significant drop in usage. And we believe that a lot of this is because of the requirement to get insurance. It adds approximately $10 to $20 more onto the cost of their rental, as well. If it's a last minute thing, it's a one more thing for them to do, and sometimes they don't bother doing it because they only have so much time because they're hoping to go on the ice in the next half hour. So sometimes that doesn't to work out for the customer then. We reached out to neighboring municipalities just to see what they're doing. Not everyone offers Ticket Ice or Slice Ice or Last Minute Ice, as it might be called. But those that are, the majority of the ones that responded do not require insurance, as they use it as one of their own drop-in programs or classify it as, so therefore it's covered under their existing policy. We are able to get insurance from our current insurance provider of a group insurance, which would be similar to what we had before. And we ended up going away from that because it got too expensive. The current rate is $5 per rental. But we found that over the time we had that last time, I think it went up to like $25 or more. And then also under this program, it probably that we would include it, the rental cost into the Ticket Ice fee, but then we'd be back to having to track it all as well, and then report it to the insurance at the end of the year. So it becomes more of an administrative job burden. So looking at the numbers and the insurance options and what the neighbors are doing, it is recommended that that we reclassify it as a drop-in program. People would still have to call in and ask to rent it, but it would be seen as a drop-in program rather than a rental, and in that way the insurance would be covered. The other issue that we were having too is that people would say, oh, there's 5 kids coming to go on the ice. We do up the invoice, be ready for them to come in to pay for 5 people, and then only 3 people showed up. So then we have to change contract and all that sort of thing, or 8 people showed up. So that was becoming a bit of an administrative hassle as well. So we're suggesting that we just do a flat fee up to 10 people. So if there's 2 people, it's $60. If there's 9 people, it's $60. So that's staff's recommendation, and happy to answer any questions that council may have.
Okay, thanks, Becky. Questions of the report? Jerry?
Thanks, through you, Mayor. Thanks, Becky, bringing us back. I think I moved it. So just to clarify, if one person shows up, it's $60. But now you did mention up to 10. Well, was there somewhere in there, 10 is the maximum? Just curious.
I would say yes, 10 would be the maximum, because otherwise we'd be getting into cost of a regular rental then. Or is that sound right? Is that right? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, other questions? Seeing none, we have a motion that Council of the Township of Perth East receive a report prepared by the Manager of Parks, Recreation and Community Services dated February 18, 2026, entitled Ticket Ice Review, PRCS-2026-06 for information, and that staff be directed to revise the Ticket Ice program to reduce barriers to participation by reclassifying Ticket Ice as a municipal drop-in ice program and providing coverage under the township's general liability insurance, and the drop-in ice program begin March 1st, 2026, and further that a change to the fees and charges bylaw Schedule J be made to the drop-in ice program, formerly Ticket Ice, to a flat fee of $60 plus tax. Okay, and we need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Hugh, second by Jerry. Any more questions? All in favor? Carried. Thanks, Becky. Okay, moving on, we have no reports from fire. Next item is correspondence, and we have correspondence from CKNX from Jeff Irwin, and he's asking for support from our council to change it from AM to FM. Their radio station. Anyone have any questions on that? No? Okay. So we'll read this, see where it goes. That Council of the Township of Perth East received the letter prepared by Jeff Irwin, Operations and Sales Manager of CKNX dated February 18, 2026, entitled Requests for Support CKNX AM to FM CRTC application for information, and at Council of the Township of Perth East direct staff to issue a letter in support of CKNX for their transition from AM to FM dial CRTC application. I need a mover, moved by Jerry, second by Amanda. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, council and committee reports. There's no mayor's meeting log. It came last meeting. Anybody have any reports on any of the boards or the committees that they sit on? Nope. Okay. We'll move to bylaws. We have one bylaw that is to be read a first, second, third, and final time, and it is bylaw 06-2026, being a bylaw to authorize alternative voting methods. We need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Jerry, second by Jeremy. Any questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, any notice of motions? Any other business? Any announcements? We do have a need for a closed session. So we have a motion that the regular meeting of council of the Township of Perth East be temporarily adjourned at 7:36 p.m. to permit the holding of a meeting in closed session for the purpose of litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. I need a mover and a seconder for that. Moved by Jeremy, second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. Thanks, everyone else. We'll take a short break. rise from the closed session and reconvene at regular session at 7:55 PM. Moved by Hugh, second by Jerry, all in favor, carried. We have a motion that the minutes of December 16, 2025 closed session meeting be approved. Moved by Hugh, second by Andrew, all in favor, carried. Motion that a closed meeting was held and only the closed session items identified were discussed in closed session, and further that council approve the confidential direction given to staff. Moved by Jeremy, second by Amanda, all in favor, carried. Bylaw 07-2026, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of Council of the Township of Perth East at its regular meeting held on February 18, 2026, be read a first, second, and third time. Moved by Amanda, second by Jerry, all in favor, carried. And the last motion of the evening is we adjourn at 7:56 PM. Moved by Amanda, second by Hugh, all in favor, carried. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night.